Hello friends, I am Soumyaranjan Naik. I am a research scholar at IIT Bombay and I welcome you all to my channel. The aim of today's video is to give you some insight regarding the preparations that you need to have when you go for a PhD interview. The first and foremost thing that you need to understand is the importance of having sound basics. You need to pick up few good books of the area of research that you aim at after due consultation with your faculties, your peers, your seniors, and out of your own experience also, and prepare them thoroughly. Because one of the most important criterion on the basis of which you are chosen is the strength of your basics, because that those are the points which are mostly asked. Now after preparing well the basics of the subject and also going through the relevant literature and the research work that you are carrying on, or the relevant literature exposure that you had in the past, when you enter into a interview hall, what do you see? You see a panel of faculties. They are waiting to interview you. So you sit down and they ask you regarding your name, your college, your specialization. At that point of time, something very important that some people may miss, may happen. That is that in case you have already graduated, you need to take your thesis. And in case you are in the middle of your second year in MTech or final year of your BTech, I would suggest you whatever research material that you have, like whatever experiments you have done, whatever work you have done, put it down in the format of a journal publication. Let it have a title, let it have some affiliation, your affiliation, let it have the abstract, the keywords, the introduction, the experimental details, the results and discussions, conclusion, references. Irrespective of the amount of results you have, you need to make it sure that you have this very document with you. And after you are asked about yourself, you need to hand over this document, either your thesis or this document, to the interviewers. That makes their work very easy and in turn brings them to your comfort zone. Because if you don't go with a document, then what do they do? What do they ask? They ask you that, can you tell some of your favorite subjects? And that is a difficult terrain. That is what I personally feel. It is much more easier to speak about the work that you have done in last 5-6 months or 1 year than to go into some subject where random questions can be put in front of you. So make it sure that you print a document and you go over there. One of the most important questions which most of the students they ask me is the importance of having a journal or a publication when you go for an interview. Well, I will narrate out one of the most beautiful experiences or the interactions that I ever had in my research career. That interaction happened in 2014. I went to attend a conference at COEP Pune, and by then I had heard a lot about Professor B.S. Murthy, who is presently the director of IIT Hyderabad. He's a very generous man and he's a very student friendly person. I knew about him because I used to go through his video lectures. And to my surprise, while I was going through the poster section, he happened to be present there and he was actually judging the posters. I couldn't stop. I went to him directly and I told him that, sir, could you just spare me a couple of minutes, because I have got uh, something very important to ask. Then he left those students who were around him and told them, okay, just excuse us. And he came to a corner, and then I asked him this very same point, that, sir, there is a big hype of having a publication to have a successful entry into a good college for PhD. What do you feel? Then he said something which actually changed me, the way I thought. He said to me, you see, If you work properly for 5-6 months, then you in your masters you have enough content for a conference. If you work for 7-8 months, you have enough content for a journal publication. Then he said what matters to him basically is whether the student has got sound basics and whether the student actually understands or knows the work that he or she has been doing. That is enough for him. And that is something which came true in my case. I had no publication, but I could get into IIT Bombay. I had a conference under my belt, but again that conference didn't have any proceedings, because in the conference I had a call for a poster presentation, but it actually helped me. So in case you are in a position to go for a conference, then please go. That gives some insight into the mind of the interviewer that, well, the student has done something. Now the next thing is something which you should all take into consideration. Is the duration that you stay in the college. You see, mostly what people do is that suppose the interview is on 18th and 19th, they reach on the morning of 18th and they complete with the process of interview and then pack up by 19th evening and then they leave to their place. And this is where you actually are committing a mistake. You should reach the college a day before your interview and you should leave the college a day after your interview gets over. Why? It is important because it gives you the time to interact with your faculties. Now you can go through the website, choose upon few faculties depending upon their area of interest and go and interact to him or her, interact to them, knock their door. You can also write an appointment. You can also write for an appointment. Now think you are at the door of a professor. What is the worst thing that the professor can say? The worst thing that a professor can say is that, well, I'm a bit busy today. Can you come tomorrow? Or can you come in the second half? And when you go in the second half, you can ask him regarding the projects that he or she is having. You can ask him or her regarding whether they have any research positions available or not. This is not the PhD positions that I am talking of. Are there any research positions available like SRF or GRF under one of the projects that or many of the projects that they have? In some cases, they may also refer, because you will be taking the document, the work of yours, and after going through it, they may refer you to some other faculty who may have some projects. Interaction with the professors give you an insight regarding the overall process. They may tell you that, well, we have some positions and they are open, you may apply for that. So if I summarize the entire talk, it would be: first, you should be strong in your basics. Second, you should take the print out of the work that you have done. Third, you should not get worried if you don't have a journal publication. A conference also does the work. Even if you don't have a conference, not to get much worried, because if you have that document printed in the format of a journal, that also does most of the work. And third, and the last thing, the duration that you stay in the college where you've gone for the interview, so that you can interact with the faculties and get to know about the various possible positions they may have in some projects. So these are a few of the tips that I understood over the period of time, over the period of attending various conferences. I hope this is of some help to some of you. Thank you. In case you have any queries regarding whatever I have told in this video, you can always comment below and then I will be answering your questions. And also I'll be putting the link for other videos that I have done in the past, like how to choose a good guide, like what are the ways in which you can do a smart work in PhD. All those videos and about the life of a PhD, all those videos that I have done in the past, I'll be putting it in the link. You can always go through them, and I hope this endeavor of mine will bring about some improvement in the overall understanding of the PhD life that we have. Thank you, Jai Hind.